This is the Coin Show Podcast. The show about coins and coin collecting. And not just any show. This is the #1 coin collecting podcast. Going 10 years strong. Here's Matt Dinger and Mike Nodelman on the Coin Show Podcast.
And this is episode 164 of the Coin Show Podcast. Hey, Matt.
Oh, hi, buddy. What's happening? Gotta unmute myself.
On this episode of the Coin Show Podcast, Matt and I are going to talk about the coolest things that walk into our shops this week. And we're going to talk about whatever else comes to mind. And we're going to answer some listener questions if we have any.
Yep.
But first, as always, the news. The news is brought to you this week by deodorant. Summer is coming. Have you got yours? Thank goodness for deodorant.
I like that one.
Yeah, well, it's getting to be that time of year. Matt, the American Numismatic Association has suspended the 2020 World's Fair of Money.
Wah, wah.
Here, hold on a second. I think I've actually got that.
Do you?
Yeah, I think I do. Let's see. There we go.
That is
So note the use of the
fitting.
word. Yeah, you have it too.
I don't have it
So
loaded in.
Note the use of the word suspended, which does not mean canceled. You know, it's supposed to give us optimism and hope.
Yeah,
Does it give you optimism and hope, Matt?
not one bit. The show's not going to happen.
Yes, I think that in a realistic sense that the amount of planning that would need to go into it, the floor space, the convention space, all of that stuff has to, I mean, these things are planned years in advance.
Yes, for sure.
So,
I'm just sitting here reading the article. It says they were actually looking to maybe move it to Colorado Springs, but they did not decide to go with that. So
let's go with Oklahoma.
Actually, the interesting thing is in this article it says that the convention's only been canceled twice. Once in 1918 during the flu pandemic, and again in 1945 because of World War II. So interesting.
Yeah, actually, the flu in 1918 affected the baseball season as well.
Yeah, it does not surprise me a bit.
Yes, the Chicago Cubs lost to the Boston Red Sox in the World Series that year.
Huh.
NGC has decided to offer collectors and dealers a 20% discount on submissions to select tiers from July 27th through August 7th. So Collectors Society members and NGC authorized dealers will still receive this 20% on top of their typical discounts.
Oh, that's all right. I send a lot of stuff to those guys, so I'll take any.
Yeah, well, this is timed, to coincide with what would have been the World's Fair money. They're like, you know what? Send these submissions to us. We'll do it. So submissions have to be received by mail, the snail kind.
Sure.
And it has to be received in NGC's Sarasota office between July 27th and August 7th to be eligible for the special discount.
Huh. Well, I mean, I understand. I understand that that's, they're trying to drum up that business that they would have got at the show. So, good for them.
Yes, I think that this is an example of the resilience that you're seeing of American business right now. That they're figuring out ways to get it done. It's kind of like the seed that seeks the light.
Right.
You ever do that with the bean seed in grade school?
My wife does that with some of her plants. She always is commenting about how they always like to lean towards the window. So.
Yeah. Well, what's funny? What we used to do was we would take the bean seed and we would put it on the side of a glass, and we did this by soaking a piece of paper towel and putting it around the outside of the glass. And then we put the seed, in between the towel and the glass, so it stayed nice and wet and was able to sprout. And it would sprout, and it would start heading its way up, and we'd take the glass and turn it over, and it would turn around, and it would start going up the other way. And it was just kind of a neat experiment in how it sought the light. So it's just neat.
That's pretty cool, actually.
That's a really, really way far afield aside. Sorry.
I was just letting you roll, buddy. I wasn't
Yeah, again, it's babbling. I know it's controlled babbling.
That's all
The
right.
PNG Day Show, which was scheduled for August 3rd in Pittsburgh, has been canceled, not suspended.
Yeah, makes sense as well.
Yeah, well, they're just, I think, more realistic about it. The awards banquet, unfortunately, has not been rescheduled at this time. These are the times we live in. I mean, we plan these conventions years in advance, and nobody can see any of this coming except for maybe Miss Cleo.
No, she can't even see it coming.
Well, maybe not. We'll find alternatives, but we have to be creative. I think that, a lot of these organizations have been waiting for the virus to blow over, and they figured it'd be a business as usual shortly. But this pandemic may continue for months.
Yeah.
And then, when the fall hits, it may get turbocharged with some mutation.
Yeah, not yet. It's just kind of chilling, maintaining right now. So,
well, that's now, but I'm talking about in the fall.
Yeah.
So I mean that could be really bad. So I think that it behooves all businesses to start thinking in terms of contingency for a large and virulent second wave. Right?
We are.
Think about it this way: you prepare for the worst, you hope for the best, and if you prepare, you'll be able to survive. If we have to go into total lockdown again.
Yeah, we're definitely doing that in our office. We were just talking. We had a meeting about that today. So
I think you could be better able to adapt and thrive. If you start planning ahead. Just
yeah, for sure.
And that is exactly what Las Vegas has been doing during the recent shutdown. So a socially distanced coin show has been conceived and will be a reality. The Vegas pop-up coin show will be held July 2nd through 5th at the Palace Station.
Huh.
Yeah, so check this out. These are the guidelines the event is following, right? Let's see. The room will be comprised of 15 dealers and will likely be allowed no more than 25 additional people in the room at a time for a total of 50 people. That makes 40. Their math is off, but I don't know. To observe safety and state requirements, 15 24-foot vendor booths will occupy the same space that normally holds 80 booths. And they'll be 6 feet apart in every direction, and the aisles will contain floor instructions, like Walmart tells you which direction to go down the aisle.
Sure.
They'll be let in and let out in groups to not exceed the recommended 50 people at a time. And it says that the selling space has been expanded to 3 8-foot tables and offers a huge trading venue.
That sounds terrible. I'm sorry.
Well,
I would just not go. If that was my option.
Do you want that or no coin show?
Right now, I'd rather have no coin show, to be honest with you.
Okay, well, I mean, there are people out there that are willing to be on both sides of the table for this.
Right. Yeah.
Not yours truly. Right.
But if they, if they expect people to travel to come to the show, it's not going to happen. People aren't going to want to stand there and wait in line to go into a show with 15 dealers. It's not worth it.
This is the thing that I think is really kind of escaping a lot of people is that nobody's thinking about that, right? They're talking about starting up baseball again, right?
Right.
All of this stuff has to do with transporting people from one place to another.
Exactly.
And that's exactly how the pandemic spreads. So
just be patient and deal with it.
They thought that they were safe in the South. They thought that everything was cool, that, the warm weather knocked it out. Well, guess what?
Yeah.
No. So I just hate the fact that our show is so consumed with COVID.
But I mean, it's dominating the news and it's dominating.
Well, it's dominating life,
dominating
right?
The business right now. So yeah, we kind of have to be, unfortunately.
Yeah, but yeah, if you want a choice of 15 dealers and 35 of your closest friends, 34 of your closest friends to go and peruse some coins with, and you want to brave the elements of travel and hotels and all that stuff,
probably be rushed along. Have to wait in line for 4 hours.
Yeah, it's like you walk up. Do you have any bus dollars? No. Okay.
Right. I mean, and they won't allow more than one person at a table at a time. I mean, right. I'm good. No thanks. Hard pass.
Well, no more than one person at a table. No, that's not going to work because there's only 15 tables.
Oh, that's true. But they're going to require people to maintain 6-foot distance, but
well, you're going to have 8 feet of tables, though.
Okay, so even if one person's on one end and one person's on the other, that's like what,
Right.
4
That's
feet
what you
apart?
get. Yes, they're still going to be 6 feet apart. And that's what you get.
That sounds terrible. I'm sorry. Again,
Just doesn't sound realistic.
no, not at all.
No. Hey, Matt, remember how there are already 2 commemorative coin programs for next year, so they can't make Morgan and Peace dollars as commemorative coins for 2021?
Yeah, I heard about that.
All right, well, Randy Barr, thank you. Randy Barr, a congressman from Kentucky, has proposed the 1921 Silver Dollar Coin Anniversary Act, which would create 2021 dated Morgan and Peace dollars to mark the anniversary, but they won't be commemorative.
Huh?
Yeah.
What?
Right.
Okay.
Right. So it's an anniversary act that would create dollars that were minted 100 years ago, and they're marking the anniversary, but they're not commemorative.
Boy, that sounds fun.
The coins would be legal tender silver coins struck from, and this is how all the legislation is now, at least 90% silver, meaning that it's probably going to be struck in 999 if this even gets passed. But it'd be more like a 3/4 silver eagle, which might be a cool thing.
Yeah.
To be honest, I mean, I think I might get into that.
Yeah, I could like that.
Yeah, but you could only make the Morgans this year. You make the peace dollars as long as you want.
Right.
But Morgan dollars don't line up with anything other than, unless you want to wait until 2078.
Just
then you
reading.
have the 200th anniversary of the Morgan dollar.
Just reading this article, that's all.
Stax Bowers will auction a 1776 Continental dollar this month.
Cool. Love those things.
Yeah, so a pewter example, graded XF45 by PCGS, should bring a couple of bucks.
Just a couple dollars, yeah.
Yeah. Research suggests that the coins were not struck in America in 1776. In fact, they weren't struck in 1776, and they weren't even struck in America.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, the research actually suggests that they were struck in London in 1783.
Huh.
Well, and there's a really cool write-up in Bitcoin Week on it, where you can learn more, as far as why they were made and things like that. It's interesting stuff. The 1794 dollar that recently set the all-time record for highest priced U.S. coin sale will be auctioned again later this year. Go figure.
You don't say.
Yeah, it sold for huge money. Let's sell it again. Legend Numismatics is calling it the most valuable U.S. coin, but I don't think that's really accurate or even close. Matt?
Yeah, I'm here. I was just thinking about that. Sorry. I was just...
Well, I mean, think about this. The most valuable U.S. coin, right?
Yeah.
So, what would that be? I mean, there are so many unique coins. There are coins that can't be owned.
Yeah.
There are, to Legend Numismatics point, this coin realized the highest auction price, and therefore, in the technical aspect of it, a coin's only worth something when somebody pays something for it.
I would say that this is the world's most expensive coin. I wouldn't necessarily say valuable. But most expensive is probably more
I can get with that, but I think expensive lends credibility to the price, whereas I think it's more of it is the coin that sold for the biggest price tag ever. I think that's way more accurate because it doesn't say whether it's a good purchase or not.
Isn't that the same thing though? Most expensive, sold for the highest price tag. Sounds like the same thing to me.
Okay. You say tomato, I say tomorrow. The finest 1838C Half Eagle has been sold for a record price. And this is a record price for any business strike Half Eagle. Guess who sold it?
I know who sold this coin.
Yeah, our friend of the coin show, Doug Winter.
Yep. Who
owned the coin with John Albanese. The coin is graded MS63 plus by PCGS and, of course, has a CAC sticker. It had been last sold in April 1978 by Stax for $10,000.
Isn't that amazing?
Well, I mean, this coin has it, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, this coin has it. Yeah. I mean, it's 1 year type. It's the finest known. It's from the first year of any branch mint.
Yeah.
And it's from Charlotte.
Yeah.
You know what I say?
I like that one. That's good.
Yeah, that's total. Now for the unrare. NGC has certified over 50% of all of the Eagles made earlier this year in Philadelphia.
Wow. Well, that
That's right.
Me.
Get ready to see these things on late night TV, infomercials, coin shopping networks for years to come.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, there were 240,000 Eagles struck in Philly. So that means there are over 125 or over 120,000 of these slabs already.
In just NGC slabs.
Yes, that's true.
So there's probably, not quite as many, obviously.
Did PCGS sanction this nonsense?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I can't remember seeing one yet, but that doesn't mean this or that. I don't know. Good question.
I mean, I think that this kind of stuff does, a disservice to our hobby. They're purely a buy the holder coin.
Yes, for
unsuspecting buyers think that, the certification is going to mean something, that the coins are rare because the guy on TV is going rare, right? And there's this really, really high grade, and that's a fact. And that's going to turn a lot of people off to this hobby. I mean, it's just sad, but it's the way it's going to work.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I'm also not.
This one is going to become the bicentennial quarter of
Silver Eagles.
Of Silver Eagles, yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me. Common as dirt.
Yeah. Are you really sure that you like the idea of Bitcoin, Matt?
No. I mean, it's okay. I'm not completely sold on it.
Well, I was kind of on the fence, right? Not really knowing what to think about it, but until I read this article, I saw it as kind of a, just a middle finger to government as a concept, right?
Right.
And to hide assets. But then this article showed me the biggest danger of Bitcoin. So the Asset Recovery Unit in New Zealand has announced the freezing of 140 million New Zealand dollars. It's about 90 million US, as part of their global investigation into BTCE, a now defunct Bitcoin exchange. So the exchange is accused of laundering billions and billions of dollars for crime syndicates.
Oh, that ain't good. That's bad news.
And so if you didn't think about that facet of Bitcoin, please do so.
Yeah.
Because, we all kind of thought of it as, well, we can kind of use it for this, which is not really all that dirty or underhanded or, but the fact of the matter is that, there's too many things in that can just, they have the wrong.
Well, when it comes to anything like that, I'm sure it was started with good intentions, but bad people will always find a way to misuse anything you can.
Yeah, I mean, it was a way to create liberty, and liberty is a good thing. But unfortunately, the corrupt will always figure that out and always find a way to really make that work.
Yeah,
there. So
interesting.
That's why we can't have nice things.
That's right. Darn it.
And finally, in the news. A hoard of rare Morgan dollars has been discovered in Atlanta. NGC has pedigreed the hoard as the Atlanta Bank hoard, and it has a pretty cool story. A woman contacted a local shop in Atlanta and told the story of her grandfather, who worked at the Atlanta Federal Reserve Bank. Now, on Saturdays, he would take his young son to work and let him look through the bags of Morgan dollars for the most valuable coins, and apparently the kid had some chops.
Cool.
So the Atlanta Bank hoard has a lot of low mintage dates. So it has 2279 CC Morgans, 1191 CC Morgans, 1593 CC Morgans, 1894 CC Morgans, 2095 O's, 3795 S's.
Hold on. 94 CC. You said 94, but it's not.
No. 94. So there's 1894 planes.
Okay, you said 94cc, but okay, I'm keeping you honest,
Okay,
everybody.
there's 1593 cc's.
Yes.
1894 Philly, right?
Yes.
There's 20 95 O's and 37 95 S's. So the 94 planes are the particularly rare one out of these. There were only 110,000 pieces struck.
Right.
So it's the second lowest mintage of any circulation issue. A lot of these coins grade MS63.
Huh, cool.
But some of the coins most of the coins in the Horde are very good to extremely fine, with a few of the coins being in mid state.
God.
Typically, key date Morgan dollars have uneven toning in circulated grades, but the Atlanta Bank Horde is an exception. Most of the coins have similar and appealing toning.
Nice.
So that's where they tie together, is the toning is kind of similar for all of them. But yeah, this kid, this is before the GSA sales.
Yeah.
So it's like, think about him pulling all these CCs out. Oh yeah, here's a CC. Here's a CC.
Yeah, and they weren't really much back then. They were just, pretty common coins, really.
Well, I mean, I don't think they were common. I think they were rare, but access to it was almost, non-existent. So these were sitting in the vault at the Atlanta Fed, and he got to just browse through the bags.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. So I thought that was a really cool story. And that's the news. And the news was brought to us this week by deodorant.
I like that one.
Summer is coming. Have you got yours? Thank goodness for deodorant.
You're listening to the Coin Show Podcast with Matt Dinger and Mike Nottleman.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I like that.
How's it going there, Matt Dinger?
Good, Mike Nottleman.
Yeah, good. Let's see. Do we have any listener questions?
I don't know. I don't see any.
You know what I want to do for next episode, and people need to get on this, is your coolest thing. Let's do that again.
Yeah. I was just thinking that to myself. We're going to do another installment of Your Coolest Thing. We'll probably try to do that like every other episode. Give you guys some time to get some new stuff in. And yeah, I think that would be...
it's not going to be an episode dominant thing.
Right. But definitely want to get you guys involved. You guys that watch live, or just you guys that are in the Facebook groups. We
want to get you guys involved. No matter where you are, no matter where you listen, we just want to get you involved.
Heck yeah. So let's see. You want to go check the email while I take a look at the chats here and see if we have any questions that come up. Do I have? No, don't have any music. I was going to give us a little Jeopardy music, but
I thought that I had an email for a second.
No,
this guy wrote me twice. Everybody sales.
Well, they all want us to buy something.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, well, looks like, and that was it for listener questions. No, I'm just
kidding. Yeah, that's it for listener questions. Brought to you this week by Staples. When you can't find a thumbtack, Staples.
You just got. Do you have an album of these just laying around that you just love to just write them down in every once in a while?
Actually, I do have something that I've written them down in.
It doesn't.
So I mean, I have a record of some of the stuff that we've done. Like, for example, Waffles.
Waffles.
We're sponsored by Waffles. Exhaustion.
Well, that's just all the time for me.
Hand sanitizer. Lots and lots of hand sanitizer.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Fly swatters.
Yeah.
Yeah, living your best life through,
swatting flies.
Yeah. Erasers. Life sucks and sometimes we make some mistakes. If you used a pencil, we could make it go away. We're erasers. Well, I mean, that was, because the pencil industry took a stab at them by saying pencils, keeping the eraser industry afloat for over 100 years. Pencils.
Well, that's true. Those guys they're ruthless.
Yeah, my favorite, though, was the ambivalence people.
Oh, I do got a question here now while we were goofing around about our advertiser. Let's see what we got. John Rabbit asked us, do you guys think remakes of the classics will help appreciate the original issues, i.e. 2021 Morgan, help appreciate the 1921s?
In my opinion, no more than the what was the commemorative? The old San Francisco Mint commemorative did.
Yeah, they did. They did a San Francisco Mint commemorative that had the reverse of the Morgan dollar, and then the $5 gold piece had the reverse of the 5 libs. I don't think it really did anything.
And if you ever wanted a cameo example of those, you could have them, and
right.
that was the only neat thing about it, in my opinion.
Right, right, and I mean, I think that the program guys will get on board with that. You know, they'll buy a bunch of 21s and package them up with the 2021 Morgan coins or Peace Dollar coins, and that though you see a little bump there, but I don't think it's gonna be something that causes somebody to discover Morgan dollars. If you like coins and you don't know about Morgan dollars already, then you're out of it. So.
Or if you don't like Morgan dollars, you don't like Morgan dollars, and I don't think this is necessarily going to get you into them.
Right. I got another question. Joe asks us, do you have any advice for collecting early proof sets? I'm assuming he means 1950s and before. Should I go for original packaging, Capital Plastics, or maybe even a slab set? Well, my advice on that is I don't believe that they started packaging sets until 1950.
Well, wasn't 1948?
No, they didn't.
It's mint sets. I'm thinking mint sets. So
yeah.
They didn't make a mint set in 50. 50 was the first proof set.
I'm trying to think how 42. No, I've had 40 sets in boxes before, so no, they didn't package them.
I don't know how they packaged the 41 sets, the 40 sets, those.
Original packaging is hard because on those early sets they use that really junky cellophane that tends to fall apart over time and can actually
have the staple in it like the 50s sets.
Yeah, yep. They do. They have the staple in them. They have that really junky cellophane. I don't like the original
and they have
packaging.
The alpha toning that goes with both of those things.
Right. Okay. So Joe's talking about the boxes versus a cello pack. Okay. Capital Plastics. I like Capital holders. You see most of your sets in the 40s have been moved to Capital holders for the reason that the original packaging is prone to falling apart and damaging the coins. And then slabs, I just always like sets and slabs, especially those early 40s proof sets where, a point in grade can make a difference price-wise. So my advice would be, in complete honesty, I would buy slab coins because at the end of the day, somebody's going to have to sell them. Therefore, I think that they're more saleable in slabs. Plus, you get the guarantee that the coin hasn't been messed with, that the coin is original. You get all those guarantees. So I personally would just buy slab coins, just simply because those original early packages are junk. So that's just me.
My personal opinion on it is this: that if I had to rank the three, yes, the original packaging can still be desirable, but it's still at the bottom of the heap.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those coins are going to be ugly, or they're going to be just not. They're not going to be top quality.
Because in the wrong storage environments, that cellophane actually will burn the coin.
And for a long period of time now. I mean, we're talking in excess of 70 years now. So, I mean, it's been a long time. The ones in the Capital Plastics holders are generally nice, but they could be messed with and you wouldn't know it. But if you know what you're looking at and you want to buy the coin, there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. You can assemble your own set that way, and you can, buy the coins one at a time. Of course, the slabs are the best. And the reason that, in my opinion, the slabs really rock the best is because of issues like the 36 satins.
Yeah.
Well, there's 36 satin proofs that you're going to have a really hard time telling those from circulation strikes. And then you're going to have the inevitable arguments with people, but that's not a proof. That's proof. That's not a proof. Well, when it's in a PCGS or an NGC holder and it says proof, nobody argues with you.
Right. Here's another question. CM Salerno asks us, do you think a $20 Andrew Jackson replacement is coming in the very near future? I don't know. That's a good question. There's a lot going on politically right now that might motivate a change, but I hate to get real political on this show, but I think under this current administration that they're not going to change much.
Well, he's kind of fond of Andy Jackson.
That's all. I'm not going any further than that right there. Under that.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying he's a big fan of Andrew Jackson. There's a portrait of Andrew Jackson in the Oval Office, so I just know that's I think undisputable fact.
There you go.
that said, in one of the pieces I recently wrote, I was talking about Andrew Jackson. I was talking about how ironic it is that, Andrew Jackson was a person that hated paper money and he hated debt and he hated all this stuff. And yet he winds up on the biggest piece of debt that, you've ever seen, the US $20 bill.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just kind of really ironic. And then there are people that, they're like, no, we don't want to take him off, America, and, so I don't know about all that.
You have to do that again.
No.
I have to hear that voice again. I'm sorry. I have to.
I know you want a clean version of it so you can drop it on me. I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
Too smart.
Your tactics are just way too transparent.
You're too smart for me.
No, your tactics are too transparent. I'm not smart.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for the questions. Anything else, real quick, while we're sitting here? I see.
We have swag, and you guys can pick out swag. You can buy swag. Matt is wearing swag right now.
I am. My wife calls this
you're wearing a $100 shirt.
My wife calls this the Thing One shirt. Jerk.
Well, it does kind of look like Thing One.
I just picked the red one, okay? Jeez.
Yeah. So we have those. We have. I mean, you can actually design what you want in our swag catalog.
Yeah. We have several different designs, and you can pick what you like.
Yeah, I am wearing a custom-made.
Yeah, where's
Coin Show Podcast polo shirt.
Polo, I like that.
Beautiful, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
So I mean, you guys can make your own. You do whatever you want with it. So you go buy swag at our website, right? Or it's at the website.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here's a Aaron just posted on the chat something that I saw earlier today that was very interesting. Facebook has just banned the sale of antiquities, including ancient coins.
How can they do
on
that?
their platform? Well, the reason that they say they're doing it is to stop looted items from being sold in an underground marketplace on Facebook, which some of the stuff they documented 100% looted, shouldn't have been sold, but they're kind of throwing a blanket over a lot of different things that don't necessarily need to be included in that, and banning just all sorts of stuff. And it's really throwing a lot of people for a loop. I read through their PDF that they put out. They had a couple different, things that they weighed. They weighed not doing anything. They weighed doing kind of a selective enforcement, and then they just weighed in on doing a complete outright ban, which is what they ended up going with on their platform. So
I've learned a lot of things, working at Harlan Burke about ancient coins, because I mean, you can't work in that place and not be exposed to it in some sort. Right. And I was really amazed at what the rules are, as far as what you're allowed to have, what you're not allowed to have, what you can take out of countries, what you can't take out of countries.
And every country's different. Every country's different too. That's the thing. Some countries.
It is. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, I think I was interviewing with Aaron for the job,
right?
And he had a guy come in, and the guy wanted to sell him a gold coin. And I mean, the guy's standing there, and first question on Aaron is, well, I mean, where'd you get it? And it was just funny because he kind of stumbled over his answer. And Aaron just looked at me. He goes, "I can't buy the coin." He says, "Technically, I just can't buy the coin because I really don't believe what he said." So
yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. It's hurting legit business. People like Aaron that follow the rules, that play by the rules. People like Harlan Burke, people like me. I try to play by the rules as much as I can with this stuff. I'm not a world-renowned ancient coin dealer. But I try to ask questions about people that I'm buying stuff from, about, where'd you get this? Where'd it come from? I want to know. And if I feel uncomfortable about something, I'm not going to buy it. But there is a big antiquities black market. It was being facilitated somewhat through Facebook, but it's probably being done all over a bunch of different websites. But, Facebook took the stance that they were going to just throw this big crazy blanket out there, and it was just done today. They just posted their PDF today with their decision, and so they're throwing this big kind of just blanket ban on a lot of different stuff. But unfortunately, in the wording that they use the term ancient coins. So
right, but okay, so here's my problem with it.
Oh,
and I'm going to get, pardon me?
I said, go for it. Shoot, let's hear it.
Well, I mean, I'm going to get on the soapbox for a second because I'm really serious about this. Facebook, I have a problem with Facebook, and I've had a problem with Facebook for a long time. But my problem with Facebook is that I saw ads for fake silver eagles,
yes,
right?
100%.
And they kept popping up from this place, this place, this place. That's all cool with them.
Yeah.
You know, as long as the money's green,
right.
It's cool.
Right, exactly. But
So
I try to list an
I don't like their selective morality, and that's pretty much all I'll need to say.
I don't think they know better. Obviously, they don't know any better. So
there's no such thing as selective morality. There is you either have it or you don't.
Right. Well, I mean, but in this case, it may just be stupidity. They have no idea that these people are selling fake.
I don't think Zuckerberg's stupid.
Oh, Zuckerberg's
he's a lot of things. Stupid.
Zuckerberg is not the one who is monitoring the advertisement put in by some little company out of wherever they're from. He's not.
No, he's setting the direction of the company and saying this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to go about accomplishing our vision.
I bet if you were able to get a hold of somebody actually at Facebook and say, "Hey, this is a counterfeit. They're selling counterfeits," they would pull it. But I don't still think they know any better, and their system's too broke for them to be advised that they're, facilitating these sales of counterfeits. So,
I guess I just have a basic problem.
And then Facebook. Justin just asked, do you feel like they may expand the ban to U.S. and world coins? Well, actually, technically, they're already kind of against their terms of service, really. They did a kind of a blanket wipe on that stuff all the time. They did kind of a blanket wipe with what they considered currency, spendable cash, when they stopped cryptocurrencies from being bought and sold on their platform. So
yeah, but you could sell currency on Facebook right now.
Well, you can, but you're not really supposed to. But they also haven't been enforcing it, so
right.
It's convoluted. It's a dumb game that we have to play to sell stuff on their site. I don't know. It's not the greatest platform for selling stuff, but a lot of people use it. Everybody has a Facebook, so it's just for the sake of ease. That's why I sell stuff on there, just because I can connect with anybody that I know, most likely on Facebook. So
for our demographic, Facebook is a very good platform.
Right.
I'll leave it at that.
So, and Aaron's in our chat right now, feeding me information here to give you guys. So I like it. Thanks, Aaron.
Get into our chat.
He says there's been a big push from archaeologists to end collecting, and this is where it came from. Well, that makes sense. And then so lots of negative articles against Facebook. Again, that makes sense too. But I mean, archaeologists, with the civil war that happened in Syria, I know there was a lot of looting that went on in that country. These ISIS guys were just desecrating ancient sites and stealing everything they could, selling it to fund, their war. Which, if somebody comes to me with something that says this was looted from Syria, I'm out. Nope, I'm good. I don't need it. Don't want it. But
yeah, but the thing is that they're probably not going to say that.
They're just going to go to the next guy.
Right. Then you have all these other problems.
Right. So it's just one of those things. It sucks. And I find it very hard to believe that they're going to change their stance on this, because they don't tend to change their stance on anything. So
yeah, so thanks, Aaron, for
thanks to everybody for the questions, and thanks for reminding me about that.
And Aaron will be joining us next episode.
Yeah,
he's going to be talking to some ancients with us. So
maybe we'll get a little more in depth into that conversation, since he seems to know all about it, and I'm kind of a
I think that might be a very timely conversation to have with him.
And I'm just the guy that read the article about it today, so I think he can fill us in a little more.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is his business.
That's right.
Like I told the guy on ABC, danger is my business.
Yeah. All right, buddy. You ready for everybody's favorite?
Everybody's favorite.
And now for the coolest thing to walk in this week. A competition segment between Matt and Mike to see who's had the coolest thing walk into their shops. Who'll win this episode? Let's find out. Matt? Mike? Who's got the coolest thing?
There's a 0% chance that you're winning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you actually have insight into this because you've seen both pieces.
No, actually, it's gonna be a toss up. Mine's not all that cool. I like yours actually better, but I just have to talk about trash.
Let's start with yours.
Okay.
Because I went first last week.
You did, so we'll start with mine. I bought just a generic date Carson City Morgan silver dollar 1882 cc that had some really pretty toning. The coin's reverse was rainbow tone where it sat up against the bag. The coin's like an MS62, MS63, but the reverse is really, really pretty. And it's got a really pretty streak of blue that goes right across the middle of it. And it's just nice.
So this one came from the GSA set, but was not deemed to be uncirculated.
Yep, that's right.
And so it's in the hard pack where it says, Morgan silver dollar.
And that tells us that, the coin had the toning when it came out of the pack. So, or when it came out of the bag, I'm sorry.
Because the other side would have toned along with it had it not been that way.
Right. So, it had the toning when they pulled it out of the original cloth bag that it came in. So they deemed that it was not technically uncirculated according to their standards. But it's uncirculated.
Honestly, this would sell for a higher price than most uncirculated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The pretty
it probably is strictly uncirculated, too. What do you think of the wood grade?
Oh, it's like a 3. It's got a kind of a scuffy mark out in front of the face, but it's got a lot of luster. It's a pretty coin.
Well, I mean, I will tell you what. I'm not a huge Morgan fan. I'm not a big toning freak. I really like the toning on this coin.
Yeah, it's not crazy, but it's pretty.
It's pretty, and it's natural.
100% natural. Yeah, you could buy this coin and study it.
That's, I think, the thing is, they can recreate that in a laboratory, and you've seen it a million times. Right. So, this one, it's real, and that's kind of cool.
And that's why I kind of like the toning on these coins, because they're hoard coins. They were stored in one place for a long time. You can actually study coins like this to identify what natural, God-honest toning should look like.
Yes. Yeah, no, absolutely. And it shows you that, you'll have, in most coins, you'll have one side will be wildly toned and the other side will be blast white because there's only one side that was exposed to the cloth bag. So.
That's right. And it looks like this one may have had another coin in between it, kind of on that one side, but it's hard to say. Yeah. There's no cloth print on the coin. Sometimes you actually get a little transfer from the weave of the cloth.
Little crosses.
Yeah. Sometimes you get that on the coins. It does exist. So, yeah, that's what I had this week. I was just playing with it this afternoon. I just shot these pictures today, and I was like, you know what? That coin's cool. So that's the coolest thing from my shot this week. Now your turn, buddy.
Here's the thing about my coolest thing.
It's not as cool as mine?
I don't even know really much about it. So this is a token.
Ooh.
That
guy's looking at me like I did something wrong.
No. So this is a token. And I found it in a bag of Chicago tokens.
Yeah.
Now our shop is located at 31 North Clark. And so I have this set of Chicago tokens, and a bunch of them all have Clark Street addresses. So there's 15 North Clark, there's 31 North Clark, there's, all these different addresses.
Right.
And it's kind of cool. Well, I pulled this thing out and I looked at it. It's like, and it says 85 Clark Street. Now,
what's your address in the shop again?
Pardon me?
What's the address of the shop again?
31 North Clark.
Okay, so half a block away.
Well, here's the really interesting part about it. So if you look underneath where it says 85 Clark Street, you see in very, very tiny letters, it says the Green Duck Company, Chicago. And that's what told me it was Chicago.
Sure, yeah.
Right. But here's the thing is all the streets in Chicago are numbered north and south, not just 85.
Huh, interesting.
So this coin dates back to before they changed the address structure in Chicago, which was done by ordinance in 1909.
Cool. He looks
so
like...
this coin is the exact same size and weight. It weighs 6.4 grams, which is the exact same weight as a $0.25, a silver $0.25. It has 25 on it. Okay. And it says the Colonel. Now, one of my colleagues on Facebook offered that, Colonel Sanders. And I'm like, no.
That's what somebody in the chat just said, a young Colonel Sanders. So
yeah, no, Colonel Sanders was born in 1890 in Indiana.
Yep.
And he actually started Kentucky Fried Chicken in the 1940s.
I don't know. It sure looks like him. Maybe that was just a thing.
It's a. I think he's a caricature of a Kentucky Colonel, just like this is, and I think that's what that was. So I'm still researching this coin. I'm still really trying to figure out what it is. But here's what I think is the coolest thing about this coin. So in my research, I've come up against a whole ton of brick walls about this thing, right? And I have the luxury of having some relatively, knowledgeable friends in this business.
Yeah.
And one of the guys that used to work at Harlan Burke is a guy by the name of Tom DeLaurie. Tom DeLaurie knows a thing or two about coins. Yeah. Tom DeLaurie says to me, that portrait looks vaguely familiar, but I really don't know what it is. Is it in Rouleau's token book? So Tom DeLaurie looked at me and gave it a shrug and went, I don't know.
You want to figure it
out? That's what I think is the coolest thing about this.
You ready to do the research together with me? Because I've already figured it out, buddy.
You have?
I have.
Okay, because I have what I think is the answer.
Okay, well, we're going to jump back over here to the news, and I'm going to adjust this a little bit so everybody can see it. There's a really cool website out there called Token Catalog. If you haven't used it,
that's where I got the answer.
Yeah, there you go. So we'll show everybody this. I literally just went to the homepage of Token Catalog and searched the Colonel. And as you can see, it pulls up that it is from Chicago, Illinois. And if you scroll down a little further, you can see that there were a couple locations, it looks like, from 85 Clark Street and also 125 North Clark Street.
Hold on a second. I want to see where... God, I can't wait for the video to catch up because I can't see the site. I'm sorry, continue, because I want to see this. I want to see what you're looking at, because I couldn't find but a single one-line listing for it.
Yep. So there, it looks like, oh, here we go. The Colonel's 10 money. The Colonel had a saloon at 125 North Clark Street. The player wins a beautiful bronze medallion in trade. One side of the check is a likeness from a gentleman from Kentucky, and the other side has a dollar on it, so that would have been a dollar size, and then those can be exchanged for cigars or liquor. So it is a good for token. The URL of this website is tokencatalog.com. It's free. Sign up for an account. If you find all sorts of fun tokens, you can search them here. But anyways, we scroll down here to 25 cents. We see an example. This is not quite the same because the address is different, but it does look like it was listed here at 85 Clark Street. They want a picture of it, so you might get on this website and submit your pictures. But here's one from 125 North Clark Street, and has the Colonel, 25 cents, and a picture of our Kentucky Colonel. And then there's a little article down here below it that talks about his coins.
Do me a favor. Send me a link.
I will. I'll do it after the show. It's up on the screen right now, so I'm just showing everybody how to do it. But yeah, this is the homepage of this site right here. And then I just went right here. The Colonel right there. Search USA. And she pulls them all up. So if you ever get tokens, you're trying to figure out what they are, where they're from.
No, mad because because I honestly I've seen this site. So what I here's what I'll tell you. Okay, so if you look at the one that I have is actually TC 107035, right?
Okay.
These nifty pictorials were made by the Green Duck Company, a token maker located in Chicago. But that's it. That's all it really tells you.
Yeah, 107035, Vacaletta CHI-CA-116.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it says, so I actually wrote to Richard Griever, who's the guy who runs this website.
Well, they've got a
And
listing
this
for
is
it.
the reply I got from him. He says this address was a saloon location in the 1800s and 1900s. What I did find is a description of the tokens issued by the Colonial Saloon at 125 North Clark. It describes these tokens, denomination on one side and the gentleman from Kentucky on the reverse. It describes a $1 denomination, which isn't cataloged. The Colonial Saloon must have either moved from 85 Clark to 125 North Clark, or the streets were renumbered and just the address changed. And that's the exact right answer. They did that in 1909.
Yeah.
Tokens from both of these addresses are similar. And so then he asked me, would it be possible to get a picture of the token? Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. That's because he's going to
I'm
put it on
helping
there.
out other collectors with that. So yes.
Yep. Yep. And that website does
the one right here, which is 210773, which is the 125 North Clark, is an almost identical coin.
Right. That's how you know that they're from the same place. It just maybe that one's later. It's kind of a game of deduction with that stuff, but as long as you have a little bit of information to go with, like this coin does, you can figure them out.
See, I'm searching 125 North Clark Street, and I get the other. You search the Colonel, and boom, here it comes.
Yep. It's just a matter of finding those hot words. That website's cool too because it does.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It covers all U.S. tokens, and it does do world tokens as well. I don't use it a lot for world tokens, so I don't know how in depth it is. But I have used it before and found it useful. And I use that website like 3 or 4 times a week in the office trying to figure stuff out. So
I have been dealing with an inordinate amount of tokens lately.
Well,
So war tokens, hard times tokens, merchant tokens. So yeah, I discovered this site. As a matter of fact, this was the only site that had any reference whatsoever to this coin. I couldn't find it in the Royale book.
Yep.
I couldn't find it any place.
Yep. That's and you have to make sure because they do enter them verbatim. So make sure that if there's a period there, you put a period there. They do enter them verbatim. So just make sure that you do that in your search, and that'll get you square. That'll usually help you out.
Yeah, good job.
No problem, buddy. Happy to help. Happy to show everybody one of my secrets.
So here's my question: is what do we think this thing's worth?
It's hard to say. They actually do keep records on some of this stuff. Let's see if the other 125 centers ever sold. No, it doesn't look like any of those have sold. You have to have an account at Token Catalog to see the sold data, but
yes, yeah, but you can register for free.
Yeah, it's easy. It's a cool token with a cool pictorial. I'm guessing it's not stupid rare because there are quite a few others. Maybe even though there are later ones, there are quite a few others. It looks like in here. I'm guessing it's not worth a ton of money. $20 to $50 would be my best guess.
Yeah.
But still super cool.
I was guessing right in the 20-25 range.
Yeah,
that's
kind of my thoughts.
Dennis Ford said the same thing. He was the other person that he actually remembered the hotel
that the bar was in.
Well, I'm not saying that he went there. He might have, but he actually remembered the story about this hotel and the Colonel and this kind of stuff. So
cool.
Yeah, he was helpful.
Well, now you guys get to pick between Mike and I for whoever won this particular showdown of coolest
toning
things.
Or a story.
Pretty toning or a story. Yep, that's your choice.
There's your choice.
So just leave comments on this stream or over time as you guys watch this, leave a comment which one you think is the best, and we'll announce it next show. I think Mike gave up last episode. I think he conceded.
I did.
So
it wasn't even a contest.
So there's that.
Pulls out his coin. Mike goes. That was it.
I think you're going to get a lot of use out of that sound effect.
Oh, I'm going to get a ton of use out of it.
Oh, all right, dude. Well, you got anything else for this show tonight before we wrap her up?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I had a lot of fun doing it. Yeah, no, I really don't have anything for you. I will say this, join our Not the Coin Show podcast, as a patron. We do the show, on the off weeks that we don't do this show. and we have a lot of fun. We debuted something that I'm working on, a project. It's not even, really, it's coin show related, but not really. And yeah, I mean, so it's way different. It is nothing like this show. It is definitely not the coin show.
It looks similar, but other than that, it's pretty much nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's the same two ugly guys on there. That's what we need to do is we need to figure out how to switch the two of us back and forth.
If I could have figured that out, I would have never had.
And then on Not the Coin Show, you do us the opposite way.
If I could have figured that out, I would have never had to do this in the first place. So.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
All right, buddy.
So, let's see, hold on a second, because I got something. I've got something. Did they ever have that commercial, Eagle Man?
No, I don't know what you're speaking about.
Okay, so they had this really stupid commercial in the 70s here, and it was an eagle for Eagle Insurance, and they had Eagle Man, right?
Eagle Man.
And Eagle Man, he's this guy in this eagle costume, and he's like, I've got something for you. And he lays an egg. Now, it's like, that's a guy, Eagle Man, laid an egg. Yeah. And there's these two girls, and they're, look at these low rates. All right, so we would like to thank our contributors, our patrons, the people that wrote to us, offered suggestions and ideas, posted to social media, asked questions, or in some other way supported or inspired us. We cannot thank you, our listeners, enough. Thank you to Aaron Burke for checking in and give us a scoop tonight. Thanks to Tony Alvarez Band, for our theme music. Visit him at TonyAlvarezBand.com. Thanks to Justin for his contributions on our YouTube page and our Facebook page. And thank you to Ernesto for his contributions on both as well. Go to youtube.com or the YouTube app, search Coin Show Podcast, click subscribe and hit the notifications bell. You'll get alerts whenever we post a new video, which this one will go up real soon.
Very soon.
Yeah. That's it. That's really all I had to say. Join our Facebook groups. But thank you. And thank you for listening.
Thanks, everybody.
You've been listening to the Coin Show Podcast with Matt Dinger and Mike Nottleman. The boys will be back soon with another informative and entertaining episode. Meanwhile, you can follow the show on social media at The Coin Show on Twitter and Instagram, and on Facebook at facebook.com/The Coin Show. You can also join their private group. Just search Facebook groups for Friends of the Coin Show and request access. But if you want to take it to the next level and support the Coin Show Podcast, you can go to www.patreon.com/The Coin Show. If you subscribe at the $5 a month level or higher, you'll have access to Not the Coin Show Podcast on the off weeks, as well as other surprises reserved for our patrons. Visit our website at coinshowradio.com or download our podcasts on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or wherever you download your podcasts. This has been the Coin Show Podcast.